Hey, it's Amy. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share what I do the week before my marathon and what I typically do, how much I run, what I eat, and so on. But first, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a new video. So let's talk about what I do to prepare the week before my marathon. The first thing I start doing is checking the weather. You really can't check the weather too much before a week before the marathon because it changes so much. And yes, runners can get really obsessive over this, including myself, but it's just, you need to know, or I want to know, because it affects what I'm gonna wear for race day, and if it's gonna be too hot or cold, it can affect your pacing and just lots of things. I not only check what temperature is going to be, but what direction and how strong the wind is going to be. Because as you know, you cannot beat the wind, and the wind will always win, and it's just, yeah, you can't avoid it, but it's just good to know and be prepared for if it's gonna be super strong winds, etc. As I mentioned, it can help you plan what clothes you're going to wear, and if it's gonna be a little cooler, you can get or go to your local thrift store or just look in your closet and see if there's any clothes that you want to donate and just wear at the beginning of your race, because most races have a spot that you can donate or take your clothes off and they will donate the clothes. If there's old sweatpants or sweatshirt that you just haven't worn in years and you don't want to throw it, of course, so this is the perfect time to get rid of some things. Especially with spring and fall races, the weather can be very unpredictable, so it's just good to be prepared for every type of weather, especially cold. And when you're planning the clothes for your race, I really hope that you're choosing things that you have run in before. As the age-old saying is, nothing new on race day. You don't want to just buy this really pretty new tank top just for race day and discover halfway through the marathon that it chafes and that you're bleeding and it's just not good. Same thing with shoes or just anything you're going to wear. You just want to test out everything, even if it's just once or twice, just to make sure. It's a really good idea. What I typically run the week before my marathon. This differs for every runner, especially depending on how many kilometers or mileage you run in general. What I'm planning to do before Fredericton is run around 40 kilometers or so, and that's not including the race. So I will probably run Monday, take Tuesday off, have a little really quick short workout on the Wednesday, take Thursday off, run Friday and Saturday will be just a short shakeout 5K, and then race on Sunday. So I'll have a couple days off, and I might flip even the Friday and Thursday run and just take the Friday off instead. We'll see how I'm feeling and our schedule and stuff, but for now I will run at least 5 days and have 2 days off. And again, if I'm feeling tired, I will skip one of those runs. It's not worth being tired showing up to race day, because as they say, the hay is in the barn, and you can gain no fitness during your taper. You can only take away your fitness or take away from your race. I like running the day before the marathon as it just gets my legs turning over, and it's just, yeah, a nice way to get out the nerves, and I feel so much better the next day after, like on race day when I've moved the day before. So I typically do just very easy paced 5K or even less, depending again on how I'm feeling. I only do one workout the week before the marathon, and I do my workouts on Wednesday, so I'll be doing just a short, getting my legs turning over on Wednesday, but that's it. I will also do no strength training the week before the marathon because I want to be recovering from nothing. I want to have everything, my whole body just getting ready and recovered and rested and yeah, prepared to run a marathon. Even if you feel good after strength training, your body still has to repair itself and recover, and that takes away from, again, building your stores of glycogen and getting all ready for your really great marathon or race that you're going to do. So save strength training for after the marathon, and you can concentrate on that for a bit more than running after you're done your goal or just your race. Planning race day and your race weekend. The week before is typically when I solidify or make my plan for race day. This includes what time I'm going to wake up, when I'm going to eat, when I'm going to get to the start line, how I'm going to get to the start line, when do I have to be at the corral, is there a cutoff time that you have to be in your specific corral, is there a bag drop off, and figuring out what time it's at and if I'm going to do it, and I think we are. So we have to figure out where that is, when we have to be there, and where do we get the bag afterwards. So just getting all those details. But yes, I look into how we'll get to the start line, if there's public transit, do we take an Uber, can we walk there, what are the logistics of parking, because we'll have our car, so we just need to have everything kind of mapped out so we're not panicking the morning of trying to figure out where to park or what we're going to do. So race weekend, I also plan when we're going to go to the expo and figure out where's the expo, what are the times or the hours of the expo, is there anything specific I want to see or do at the expo. Again, Fredericton will be pretty small, but at Boston I wanted to, make sure I got to these specific things and saw these things. So, just planning what you want to do, but also planning not to be on your feet too long. So having a plan and just going and doing the things you want to do, and not just, be walking for hours and hours on end and exhausting yourself and ruining your race. Other things I look for the weekend is where are we going to eat? What is the meal going to be the night before the race and even just during the day, and also where are we going to eat after the race? As I don't know Fredericton that well, I need to look up some spots and just see where's the best place, and there's going to be other runners around too, so it may be busy, so I might have to make some reservations and figure out where we want to eat. Especially big major races, there are so many runners there and their families. You really need to plan ahead and not just hope you'll find a restaurant, which you probably can, but that's nothing worse than just trying to walk around the city trying to find a place to eat. So if you can, make a reservation before for the night before the marathon, or 2 nights before and after the marathon too. Traveling to the race. This is kind of tied to planning the race day and the weekend, but I'm also kind of planning our route there. If you're going to drive or if you're gonna fly, I hope you've booked your tickets already and your hotel room. We're staying at an Airbnb, which is great as it has a little kitchen, and it'll just be nice to have a spot we can heat up our food at least. I love lists, I love making them, I love having them, so I always make a huge packing list and just what I want to take for traveling to the race and just everything I need. You can see in my Boston Marathon video, which I'll have up here, the list I made for that race, especially as I was flying to it, and just I wanted to make sure I had everything planned out. Because we're driving, we have a little bit more luxury in space and being able to take like water bottles and more food and just have not to worry about fitting everything in a suitcase. So I will have a list for what food we're going to take, especially race day breakfast and the night before if we're going to go out to eat, or we may actually make food and bring it. We're still deciding that, but again, we're planning it before we get there. We'll also take lots of snacks like granola bars, muffins, and again, the 2 days at least before the marathon, we start cutting out vegetables and we start carb loading. And I'm not going to go into too much details about that, but there's some really cool or really informative things. I'll have a link to it, especially the one that I'm personally going to use. It's from Featherstone Nutrition, and if you don't listen to the podcast Believe in the Run, they have a Fuel for the Soul podcast too that talks about nutrition, and I've been really enjoying it, so I'll have a link to that in the description below. But one big thing I do take away from that, and I will share with you, is that I stopped eating vegetables because it just messes with your, your digestive system a bit, and you just want to be eating carbs, really. Carbs. And yes, I know that's scary for runners, you don't want to gain weight, but you need those carbohydrate stores if you want to run a really successful, especially if you're going for your PB on your race day, you really need the fuel and the energy stores, and your body needs that, so it's really important. I'll also pack Gatorade to have the day before, as it's important to fill up your electrolyte stores, and also after the marathon too. Since we're driving to the race, we're gonna plan our route and where we're going to stop, and if we're gonna get gas, and we'll probably make several stops to stretch out our legs. We don't want to just do it one go, as I think that will destroy our legs. So we'll leave early the Saturday morning and just plan some rest stops along the way. Take a book if you're traveling. I really regretted not taking one to Boston as we walked, but then we stayed in our hotel room, so we ended up, my mom and I watched HGTV a bunch, but I really wish I had taken a book, so I will definitely take one this time, just so you're forced to sit down and relax and just not be on your feet too much. I also start making my packing list of, again, everything I need to take the race. So this could be all the gels, what I'm going to have in Morton 320. I usually have that the night before to carb load, clothes to change into after the race, a change of shoes as well, food, I keep saying that, food, all your toiletries, your race day shoes, don't forget those are very important, and then everything you're going to wear on race day and extra things. I can't think of anything else, but having lists is just such a great thing because then you just can see everything and just write everything down. And that's why I start this like several days before the race day or before you're leaving for your race, because I don't know, I need to write things down. I need to pack or think about it before because I don't want to forget anything. The week before, if you haven't already done it before, I would start looking at the course itself. This is a good chance to check out the elevation, if there's some really tall hills, or if it's pretty flat, or if it's a net downhill. It's just really important to know these things, and again, probably preferably the week before, but if you haven't done it, now's the time. You need to know if there's some hills and how to plan your race accordingly. You can't burn yourself going up hills, and if there's downhills afterwards, you don't want to go too fast either because you could destroy your quads. There's just lots of things to take into consideration. Thankfully, Fredericton is pretty flat. It does go on some gravel, which you can't run, or I find I can't run quite as fast on, but I'm hoping it doesn't take too much off, and it's only for part of it, so I'm not too worried. You can also check out where the aid stations are, where there's gels, water, and if there's also like Gatorade or if they have Noon on course, it's a good idea to check out what they have. And if you have not used it before, maybe you can try it before the race, or or take your own water or Gatorade or what you've been training with. But it is important to not just have water, especially if it gets really warm during your race. So you have salt tabs, but also another source of electrolytes like a drink. Maybe you can consider taking your own handheld water bottle and have it filled with stuff. Just whatever what you've trained with, that's what you should do on race day. But if you're not going to take any handheld thing, it's important to make sure you know where the water stations are so you can be prepared for it. I consider 2 days before the marathon actually really important. 2 days before the marathon is actually when you should get the most sleep and eat a really good carb-heavy meal. There's a few reasons for this, but one of them is you don't want to eat a huge meal the night before and feel heavy and sluggish the day after or the morning up, because races are typically pretty early, and if you eat it late at night or later, then I feel like you don't have time to digest it, and it's just gonna feel really heavy in your stomach. The sleep that you get the night before your marathon doesn't really affect your performance. It's the 2 nights before that really can make an impact. When you sleep, your body restores and repairs itself, so sleep is really important. However, 1 night of poor sleep shouldn't really impact you if you've been getting good quality sleep up into that moment. So 2 nights before, make sure you get a lot of sleep. So yes, focusing on even the week before your marathon, or hopefully before that, focus on getting as much rest as you can. This gives your body the energy reserves, and that you're not just kind of firing on empty, especially if you happen to not sleep well the night before the marathon due to nerves and etc. The night before, I just lay out my clothes and pin my bib to my shirt so it's all ready for the morning of, and I don't have to be fussing with, is my bib straight? Is it crooked? Because that sometimes takes forever to get it straight. I don't know why. It just, you put it on, you're like, oh, it's straight, and then it's like crooked. Anyways, has anyone else found this? Am I alone? Please tell me in a comment below. And lastly, be prepared for everything and anything. This refers to the temperature on race day, so making sure you have lots and lots of options for clothing. Having everything planned for traveling. There's nothing more stressful than scrambling and running around trying to figure things out on the fly for traveling, especially if you're going international. It's just, there's a lot of things that could go wrong. So just being prepared for every situation. This is maybe for girls, but I plan what I'm gonna do with my hair. So it's just ready for any sorts of weather. I slick it back with good old dippity-doo, which is the best, but you really just, I have it in braids and something that I've run in before, and just nothing will get in my face. So I'm just, yeah, ready for everything. If it's possibly going to be rainy, maybe take a hat and a light rain jacket that you can run in. Be prepared, bring one just in case if it's looking even the slightest of that weather. Take gels and take some extra gels, just in case one explodes. You never know, just have a few extra gels that you're going to use for race day. Take even more snacks than you think. I don't know, I get really hungry and I think, oh yeah, this is enough snacks, and then I eat them all in like the first hour. So be prepared and just have lots and lots of snacks. Lots of water. Don't forget to hydrate the week before, and especially 2 days before and the day before. Drink water, but also drink electrolytes too, whether that's Gatorade, Noon, or whatever your choice of electrolyte drink. Try nothing new on race day. I don't know how else to stress it, but just don't do it. Just make sure you run in everything you're going to wear on race day, and the shoes especially too. I think that's all I do the week before, but yeah, just having everything planned out. I'm a list maker, so make lists. Just look up, you know, traveling, look up the course, look up all the stuff on the race website. There's a lot of information about the race weekend, so take a look, and you know, you're paying money to do this race, might as well see all that they offer, and they could be shuttle buses, there could be lots of things. So just, you know, take the time to just look at the website, and you can ask your friends who've run the race too if they have any suggestions or tips. Just, yeah, get all the information you can. It can't hurt. I hope you have a good week before your marathon, or whenever you're running your marathon. But just enjoy this week, and I know it can be stressful with traveling and stuff, but yeah, just know that you've put the time and effort into training, and this is just the final lead up to the race, and then you get to go run this race that you've been working for so long. Be proud of all the work you've done, and I will be cheering for you from here. If you like this video, tap that thumbs up button. I hope you are all doing well, and I will see you next time.